4 employees being fired today for circumventing leadership and unilaterally making the egregious payment for hotels for migrants in New York City. There's going to be firings. The names are going to be out.
Elon Musk and the DOGE team continue to uncover horrific corruption in our government. And this latest thing that they found is actually, frankly, a criminal offense that should lead to prosecutions. Here's what Elon Musk put on X, the Everything app, yesterday. DOGE team discovered that FEMA sent $59 million last week to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal migrants. Sending this money violated the law and is in gross insubordination to the president's executive order. That money is meant for American disaster relief, and instead of being spent on high-end hotels for illegals, a clawback demand will be made today to recoup those funds. Now, this is bad in many respects. First of all, FEMA money should not be going to pay for hotel rooms for people who have entered this country illegally. That is not a federal emergency, which is what FEMA is supposed to be there for. Number two, Trump specifically prohibited this sort of thing in one of his executive orders. So you've got employees of an agency of the federal government openly defying the orders of the president of the United States to the tune of $59 million. And all this screaming about Elon Musk, we've got to impeach Elon Musk. Elon Musk is acting outside the Constitution. Elon Musk is upending our nation. Elon Musk must be stopped. This never would have been discovered. It never would have been found, right? Elizabeth Warren and Jamie Raskin want to tell you, oh, we should just let Congress do the oversight. That's it. Congress doesn't find this crap. The inspector generals don't find this crap, or if they do, they find it 5 years later and nothing's ever done. Elon Musk's team found it within a week of it happening, and they're immediately going to get that money back. This is a huge, huge development. And this morning on Fox and Friends, they discussed it with a New York congressman, but also talked about what the next steps are to keep this from happening, but even more importantly, to find out who did it and throw the book at them.
Fox News Alert, moments ago, we received this together. We received a statement from the DHS regarding the $59 million sent from FEMA to New York City migrants last week. Quote, 4 employees being fired today for circumventing leadership and unilaterally making the egregious payment for hotels for migrants in New York City. We have not announced it yet, so we have it first. There's going to be firings, the names are going to be out, and let's bring in New York Congressman Mike Lawler. Congressman, your thought about that move?
Well, it's long overdue, frankly. These funds have been misappropriated going back to the Biden administration, and New York City, a sanctuary city, has been wasting billions of dollars of taxpayer money, billions with a B, to provide free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants, including criminal aliens that are here illegally. And so, you know, I applaud, frankly, DHS for taking action to stop these payments under President Trump's leadership, because we have incentivized cities like New York and states like New York, a sanctuary state, to allow this to continue, and it has to stop.
All right, let me jump in here, Congressman Lawler, and then we'll let you finish. There's a couple of more minutes left to this conversation with Kilmeade this morning on Fox and Friends. So, Congressman Lawler, a good man, a Republican, in, I think, a lean Democrat district in New York. So, you know, you got to take it for what it's worth. He's applauding DHS for taking swift action here. Okay. What action did they take exactly? We had 4 rogue employees who defied the orders of the executive branch of government and doled out $59 million based on their own judgment. They just said, oh, no, we know there's an executive order. We know we can't do this. We've been told not to by the CEO, by the new duly elected president of the United States, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. $59 million. and we're going to pay it for these illegal immigrants while people are, freezing in their tents in North Carolina because of the hurricane, or people are living, in motels right now in Southern California because of the fires. No money there, but we've got $59 million that we'll give to a luxury hotel to house people who are in this country illegally in the first place. And we're applauding DHS because they discovered it and they fired the people. Let me ask you a question. I'll ask this to Congressman Lawler. I'll ask this to everybody watching right now. Let's say you had a real job. Let's say you weren't a congressman. Let's say you all who are watching us right now, let's say you had a job and you were in charge of spending money on certain things within the confines of your position. And your boss said, whatever you do, don't spend any money on X. Don't do it. You cannot spend any of this company's money on that thing. And then you went ahead and did it. In fact, not only did you spend the company's money without authorization on X, you spent $59 million of the company's money on X. And the company, by the way, is trillions of dollars in debt. It's not like the company has a lot of money lying around. Oh, sure, the company could just print money and make everybody else's money worthless. All right, the analogy is starting to go south here, but you get my point. Do you think the worst thing that happens to you is that you get fired? Or do you think maybe spending your company's money without authorization, in fact, forget about without authorization, with specific instructions and orders by the CEO of that company to not spend that money, do you think maybe you might have to face a criminal inquiry? Because last I checked, that's sort of embezzling, right? Taking money that's not yours and spending it on something that you want to spend it on when you were specifically told not to do it, when you were told that, in fact, if you do this, you're breaking the rules of this company. So we're going to applaud DHS for firing these people. How about asking DHS why they didn't immediately begin a criminal investigation of these people? This is why I'm not a congressman, I guess.
Look, it cost New York and it's a little selfish of us billions of dollars because the water was wide open for 4 years. And the mayor that spoke up got exiled in the Democratic Party. Ironically, he's about to be, I guess, in a way, pardoned or protected by this president who sees a lot of the targeting of Mayor Eric Adams as the same thing that happened to him.
No question. Eric Adams spoke out against what the Biden administration was doing. He said that the migrant crisis was, quote unquote, destroying New York City. Kathy Hochul authorized billions of dollars of state taxpayer money to pay for all these expenditures. Meanwhile, she's fleecing hardworking New Yorkers $2,500 just for the privilege of driving to work. It really just speaks volumes to how inept, incompetent, and corrupt New York has become under feckless leadership.
Right.
We have to stop this massive influx at the border, which is what President Trump is doing. But we have to stop incentivizing states and cities like New York by spending billions, and in this case from FEMA, $59 million to support their efforts to circumvent federal law. That's really what this boils down to. States like New York are circumventing federal law, allowing illegal immigrants to get benefits and access to taxpayer money.
All right, so let's talk about something else that's just bizarre that's happening in New York. New York's top court set to consider non-citizen voting in New York City elections today. Get this, non-citizen.
All right, we'll save that insanity for another program because we're focusing on the FEMA story, but it is insanity. And you just heard the congressman specifically say that this is circumventing federal law. So I don't know, last time I checked, circumventing federal law is a federal crime. So maybe we should do something about it. President Trump woke up this morning, maybe saw that segment, and then took to social media and said FEMA spent tens of millions of dollars in Democrat areas disobeying orders, but left the people in North Carolina high and dry. It is now under review and investigation. I want to clarify and find out if that's criminal investigation. See, nothing changes unless people start going to jail. And Lord knows, let me tell you something. If you worked for the Department of Health and Human Services during the Biden administration, and you were told specifically to not spend any federal dollars on a pregnancy crisis center, right? A pro-life, religious, faith-based organization that helped women who were pregnant to keep them from getting an abortion, right? Biden administration says, no. We can't spend any money on that. We want every dime in this department spent on making sure those babies get killed in the womb, okay? And you decided that you would defy that order. And you would, in fact, direct money to a pregnancy crisis center run by the Baptist church or a Catholic church. If they caught you, do you think you'd just get fired, or do you think maybe you'd face criminal prosecution? I'm pretty sure we all know the answer to that. I'm pretty sure we're confident of the answer, especially if you're Catholic. We know that's what they would do. Why are we not doing the same thing? This is what has to be done until this behavior ends. FEMA should be terminated. It has been slow and totally ineffective. Individual states should handle storms, etc., as they come. Big savings, far more efficient. He's right about that. But he's also right that there needs to be investigation. All right, so now I'm sure you're hearing all of this and you're thinking to yourself, just like I am, hold on, this all sounds familiar. FEMA money not going to the hurricane victims in Western North Carolina, instead being diverted to illegal immigrants in blue states. God, this sounds familiar. Didn't Dana Bash fact check somebody about that many months ago? And you'd be right. It was October of 2024, right before the election. Laura Trump was on with Dana Bash, specifically saying FEMA is sending money to Democrat states for illegal immigrants instead of helping American citizens who are devastated by this federal emergency, this disaster. And here comes Dana Bash to the rescue for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Well, the citizens in Western North Carolina are screaming for help, and it's having to come from local citizens. People from my hometown of Wilmington are driving across the state 6 hours to go to the mountains and help people.
It is bad.
It is the federal government. Why are they out of
it is bad there. But my question is about the misinformation, particularly the notion that they are moving money to migrants, to, you say, undocumented migrants, which FEMA says flatly is not true. And if people are not getting correct information, then they can't go for assistance as they have been asked for. I just want to quickly play with Senator Tom Tillis.
Let me just say for 1 second.
Go ahead.
You have migrants being housed in luxury hotels in New York City. We have paid so much money from our tax dollars into the crisis that didn't need to happen. We could redirect money to help people immediately on the ground in North Carolina.
Laura, they're saying that they have
probably going to have a situation coming up in the next several days.
That's a separate tranche of money.
Yeah, that's different money. That's different money. FEMA says that's not happening. It's happening. In fact, it just happened. Where's the apology from Dana Bash? Are we going to get that apology? I don't think we're going to get that apology. No, we're not. They're constantly lying. And you know they're lying when they say that what you understand to be true is misinformation. That's the key. That's the tell. Have you seen the news from certain economists right now? They're forecasting a depression, not a recession, a depression by 2030. We're in this perfect storm right now where Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point, with the largest generation hitting retirement all at the same time, plus a smaller workforce, meaning a smaller tax base to fund those programs. And then, of course, we've got our growing national debt, rising cost of living. It's the perfect storm. That's why these predictions are coming in. Now, there's a lot that's out of your control, but what can you do? Well, you can do whatever you can to secure your own family's future. Gold can be a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. You can transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold, and it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. So protect your future today. Text Larry, that's my name, Larry, to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold, and you'll get a copy of The Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. No obligation, only information. We love information. You deserve to get this information. It's free. Why not get it? Text my name, Larry, to the number 989898. Do that today.